Hey guys, welcome back to the Experts Game podcast. My name's Matt Rudisell. I'm your host. Today we are excited to have a good friend of mine with us. His name is Bill Guyther, and Bill has been with Legal Shield for a good many years. He is actually a certified identity theft risk management specialist, and he's going to talk a little bit about that. But throughout his time with that company, he's also built himself into a big business leader, and he leads a lot of people throughout the United States. He trains a lot of people. He's got a few books out, and we are just excited to have him here to talk about those today. So, Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt, thanks so much. And we go way back. I mean, for everybody that's knowing here, that's watching here, we're back from high school friends, and to see the success that you've had and the success that I've had, it just does my heart good. So thanks for having me on.
Well, that is funny you started with that. I interviewed a guy a few weeks ago who said that he graduated from our high school too. And then he started telling me about his reunion, and I realized I was 20 years older than him. So very happy about his success.
We're not the youngsters anymore.
I know, what a small world. So let's just start out a little bit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I'm a serial entrepreneur today, have been for the last 20 years of my life. I mean, I grew up in a family business, and then I got out of the family business and did everything I was supposed to do, went to school, got the education, hit the workforce in corporate America. Corporate America ended up letting me down twice in 2 years. I found myself what I have coined today as involuntarily unemployed twice in 2 years. And after the second time, I was just fed up. I was like, there's got to be another way. And I was introduced to this company that you already mentioned called Legal Shield. And quite frankly, I was skeptical. I thought it was one of those things, one of those pyramid schemes or whatever. And but I didn't have anything else going on when the guy called me about it. And I said, come on over, let's see what you got. And I evaluated it, which I'm so thankful that I did. And the more I looked at it, the more sense it made to me. So I jumped in it with both feet and thought I'd do that until I found another job. Ended up making enough money my first year that I replaced my income and my wife's income. And I retired her at the age of 30, brought her home. This is all we've done now full time for 19 years. My daughter's 18 years old, so she's never known anything except for 2 stay-at-home parents, which has been a blessing in itself. And we've done quite well. I mean, I'm not the top person in the company, but we're definitely in the top half of 1% of the people in the company. And that's branched off into some other adventures for me. As you mentioned, a couple of books I've put out there now, started a couple other businesses, but, I've just learned that, you got to be in control of your life. And so I'm just a serial entrepreneur. That's what I tell people.
Well, fantastic. I know that when you started with Legal Shield, you said you were possibly a little skeptical at first, but after you had been in it for about a year or maybe even less, what was that turning point that really told you this is it? This is why I'm going to choose this business because of this?
Well, it wasn't even a year. It was a month.
Okay.
It literally took me a month to say, I'm planting my flag here because I've been in sales and marketing most of my adult life. I mean, I was in advertising prior to Legal Shield, and so I understood that side of the world, the sales and marketing world. And this was a product, and it was one of the things that really locked me in to even get started. Was immediately I saw that Legal Shield had a product that everybody needed, most people could afford, virtually nobody had it, and the only place that they could get it was here. And, from a marketing point of view, that was like a dream come true. I mean, imagine playing football on a field with no defense, right? I had something that most people needed, most people could afford, virtually nobody had it, and we were the only game in town. So I felt good about it and going out there and sharing it with people. And then, my first weekend, I got started with the company on a Friday evening. I went and showed the services that Legal Shield offers from Friday to Sunday to 17 people, and 8 out of 17 bought the membership the first time they saw it. And, that spoke volumes to me. I mean, more than about 50% of the people bought it on the first exposure, which was just insane from a marketing point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of my first month, not even really knowing what I was doing, I'd made about $3,600 working out of my house. And it was at that point I was like, you know what? If I can really learn this business, learn this product, and get out there and do it, I could really do something here. So I just planted the flag and went for it.
Oh, fantastic! I think that that tells a lot about your entrepreneurial spirit too, because you saw something and you immediately reacted. And I think that that's what most entrepreneurs have to do in their life, in their business. When they see something, they have to take an immediate response. If that response had been maybe not the right response, or maybe had to tweak it a little bit, that would have been okay. But it was the immediate response is what made the big difference there. So I like that.
Matt, there's a whole philosophy that says successful people make decisions quickly and change their mind slowly, and others make decisions slowly and change their mind quickly.
Yeah, very good. I hadn't heard that before, or maybe I have, but I haven't really thought about it. But yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. What do you think has made you the most successful in your business?
The most successful, I would have to say that it was the decision. There's a guy named John Addison. I don't know if you know who he is. He was the co-CEO of Primerica. He actually sits on the board of Legal Shield today. But many years ago, I heard him do a talk, and he said, the word decide ends in "icide," like homicide or suicide. So when you truly decide, that means it's the death to all other options. And when I planted my flag here, I just never considered anything else. I never said at one point, things got tough. I mean, there's ups and downs, in everything, whether it's your job or your business or your relationship or whatever. And I had them here, of course, but never did I say, maybe I should just go get another job. Maybe I should go look for something else. When I planted my flag, this is what I was going to do. And, it's the staying power that really makes a difference. I mean, I've had many people that I've worked with over the years that, did okay here with Legal Shield, and then they quit, and I've had plenty of people quit on me over the years, or on them really, not on me. But the thing that I did different than everybody else is I just stayed.
That's good. Staying power. I think it's all about mindset too, and that's what we kind of started talking about earlier. Is that once you planted your flag, like you said, your mind changed completely, so that when you did have those tough times, you didn't focus on, well, maybe I should do something else, but it was, how do I fix this? How do I change what I'm going through right now in this same, scenario, in this same business? So,
right. And one of my philosophies for that is, as you get to know me, you'll realize I'm a very philosophical person. Matter of fact, my second book that I wrote is called The Parl Effect, which stands for PAARL, stands for philosophies lead to your attitude, lead to your actions, lead to your results, which leads to your lifestyle. So I'm very philosophical about a lot of things, and being able to stay there just in line, like at a grocery store. You ever been in a grocery store and you get in line and it's like, oh, the next line looks shorter, so you jump over in the other line, and then all of a sudden that person has a call on something, and the line you were in goes first, and if you'd have just stayed there, you'd have been gone and out, but now you're stuck there because you jumped the line, right? So you have to be able to, just stay where you are and know that your time is going to come.
I tell you, I'm not going to have to ask any questions today, because you jumped right into the question I was going to ask you about your books. So I love it. I think this is great. Somehow you're thinking exactly what I am. I know that was your second book that you just mentioned. Why don't you tell us a little bit about both of them, about the first one and the second one?
The first one, can I show them? Is that okay?
Sure. Oh yeah. And what I'm gonna do, Bill, is I'm gonna put links down in the YouTube notes here for both of these books. So I'll have to get those from you, and just how they can reach you and stuff. So yeah, show us what you got.
Sure. So the first book is called Escaping the Trap, and the second book is called The Parl Effect. And let me just give you the little backstory here. I've been writing a book for, a couple years, and I was writing in, your normal size book, regular size, 400 pages. And one of my other business partners came out with this little tiny kind of a book. And I thought, you know what? I really like that, because when I got his book, I was excited to read it. Like, I wanted to read it right away. And I don't know, Matt, has anybody ever given you a book as a gift or something?
Sure.
I've had people give me hundreds of books over the years, and I appreciate all of them, but usually they go on the shelf until I can eventually get to them. But with his little book, when I got in, I was like, oh, I want to read it first 20, 30 minutes I had available. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do a series of little books like that. So that's what it's, the reason I did them like that. It's not because I didn't have the content to write a big book. I just wanted to write books that people would actually read. So the first one's called Escaping the Trap. And, the trap is this: go to school, get a good education, go to work for somebody else, work 40 years and retire with a white picket fence. How many people do you know today that system actually works for? Right? You're lucky if you can work 5 or 10 jobs in that 40-year period. And then when you retire, we see it. We see the elderly, the senior citizens in our country working at Walmart and in fast food places. Why is that? Because they're bored? No, it's because they tried to retire from that system and they realized they didn't have enough money to even pay for their medications, much less their rent or mortgage or insurance or whatever. And now people are literally working until they die. And that system is not right. And that's the trap that we're in. Our country, when it was founded, it wasn't founded on when they came here, they didn't have a promise of a job. They didn't have a promise of a government that would take care of them. They had the promise of freedom, right? The ability to pursuit of happiness and life and liberty and all that stuff. And most people started a business because we didn't have Walmarts and stuff back then. So most people started the general store and the saloon and the blacksmith shops and all these things. And 80% of the people owned a business and 20% worked for them. But over the last 100 years, that's completely flipped. And now we have 20% of the people that own a business and 80% of us work for them. And what that's done is we think we are independent, right? We think we're out there adulting, working, paying our mortgage, supplying for our families, until somebody takes that job away from you, until somebody takes that income away from you, and you find out very quickly how dependent you really are. And that's the trap that I talk about is, we think we're independent, but really as a society today, we're more dependent than we've ever
been. Wow. And that's definitely important in this time that we're in now. You guys are probably watching this and we may still be in stay-at-home orders or we're dealing with I think we're going to be dealing with the after effects of COVID-19 for many, many, many months, whether we think about them now or not. And what you put together in this book is exactly what people need to hear, because we have so much dependence on things.
36 million Americans right now are out of work. 36 million Americans have been caught in the trap right now.
Correct. Even as much as food that we eat. I remember, growing up on a farm, and that's where most of our food came from. And it's completely different today. I think we all need to escape the trap, so to speak, whether it be in our business, our jobs, our life, whatever it may be. We just find ourselves kind of going down that, that easy path. And sometimes life isn't that easy. We have to make decisions.
But it's not. And look, I've just come to the conclusion that if you're going where the 95%ers are going, you're going to get what the 95%ers are getting. If you want something different, you have to do something different.
That's right. That's kind of the philosophy of insanity, right? You do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same thing. Okay, so take us now to the second book, the one that you just put this out not too long ago, right?
The second one just came out about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
This one came out a year ago, a little more than a year ago. The Parle Effect. This book is to help open your mind to where we are. I give people this book, Escaping the Trap, and they read it and they contact me. They're like, you know what? I'm in the trap and I didn't even know it.
Mm.
You know, what can we do to get out of it? So it's designed to help open your mind and make you really look at things in a different light, different perspective. You know, I'll give you a good example of how important perspective is. Great little exercise here we can do on Zoom. Matt, do me a favor and tell me specifically in as much detail as you can what you see right there.
I see a barcode. I see that it was all the nutrition facts. I see a big 0 there.
Okay.
I can't really tell exactly who the brand is.
Okay. And it's a bottle with a white label, right?
Bottle with a white label.
All right. Now we're looking at the same bottle, right?
Correct.
But I see the word cherry, a picture of a cherry, the word hint, a purple blurb, a red blurb, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, that's perspective. We are
Correct.
both looking at the same thing, but we see two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way for us to ever see the same thing is for me to come to your side or you to come to my side and look at it from the same perspective.
Correct.
And that's what the Escaping a Trap book is about, to get people to move their perspective. Now, the second one, the PARL effect. PARL is an acronym that I've coined now, and it stands for philosophies lead to your attitude, which leads to your actions, which leads to your results, which leads to your lifestyle. And it's designed to help people understand that you can control the lanes that you're going in life with your foundational philosophies of, you know, how you think about and how you react to things that life gives you, right? I mean, it's your philosophies in life are the foundation to the house of success that you intend to build.
Definitely. That makes a lot of sense. How we look at things, how we perceive things, how we think about things is what we get.
Right. I mean, you and I, we have the same 24 hours in a day, right?
Correct.
Same as you know, Bill Gates or Donald Trump or Oprah Winfrey or whoever. We all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's making millions and millions of dollars a year and somebody's making $25,000 a year, the only difference in the two really is the way people think, right? The knowledge that they have and how they use that time. And that's the most important thing. And, you know, if you stop growing and stop looking for the information you need to go to that next level in life, then you're going to be the guy that settles.
Correct.
And let me just tell you that comfort is the enemy of success.
Yeah. And you never want to get to your retirement age and think, if I just hadn't settled, you know, if
not many people are on their deathbed regretting the things that they did.
Correct.
They regret the things that they didn't do, right? I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. And you know, it's our strength as human beings is we have the ability to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Our weakness as human beings is we have the ability to choose.
Correct.
Right? I like to ask people all the time, how tall will a tree grow? And the answer to that question is as tall as it possibly can. It's going to grow until something stops it from growing, till it gets cut down or infested by insects or struck by lightning. You know, a tree doesn't grow to a certain height and then think, I'm good, I'll just stop right here. But we as human beings, we get to that place where we just go, I'm satisfied with that. And we just stop. And if that's where you want to be, fine. But I think more often than not, a lot of people wish they would have gone further.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you there. I know that I've said many times that I don't think I'll ever really officially retire. Yeah, I'll retire probably in about maybe 10 years or so, title wise, but
Right.
I'll keep working. I'll keep doing everything that I want to do. I don't have an end game when it comes to the things that I want to do. And another reason behind that too is it's passion too. So I enjoy it so much that I'll just continue it. So one thing that you said there made me think of, I'm teaching a brand new class now. It's called Pivot. and it's change in challenging times. And one of the questions, or one of the things we talk about in there, is when you think about your life, do you think about the things that you have, or do you think about the things that you're missing? And I would say 95% of us probably think about the things that we're missing in our life. And it's all about perspective, like you said. So it all goes full circle regarding our perspective on things and how we look at things, and really what our mindset's all about, what we condition it to be.
Well, and the reality is, I mean, to just speak briefly on that is, you can't open yourself up to receive more until you're completely grateful for what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, if you're not willing to give, and I'll give you a great example. We see so much in life lessons in nature, but the Jordan River over in Israel feeds two oceans, right? It feeds the Dead Sea. I think the other one is the Sea of Galilee. I could be wrong. It may be another one, but it's two seas. But one of them flourishes, right? I mean, it's just got plant life and marine life, and it's beautiful, and it's everything. And then the other one, the Dead Sea, is literally toxic. Nothing can live in it. It's so salty. And what's the difference in the two? Well, the Sea of Galilee, I hope that's the right one, but that sea has an outlet, right? The Jordan River feeds into it, but it has an outlet. It gives, it receives, and it gives. The Dead Sea only receives. And once you understand that in life, you have to be grateful for what you have. And if you don't have anything else, that's okay. And if somebody needed it, be willing to give it to them. Then what that does is that opens you up to receive all the abundance that the universe or God or whatever you want to call them wants you to have.
Yeah, and I know this about you that some of our viewers, obviously they probably don't know, but every year at Christmas time, you go out and do something called the Cash Mob. And I can almost guarantee you that, I haven't asked you this question before, but I almost can guarantee what your answer is going to be. During the Cash Mob, what you do is you go out and you give. And you've got, it's not just you, it's a whole lot of people, I think through your church, and you go out and you give to people in supermarkets and Walmarts and different areas, and you're helping pay for their purchases. So it's all about giving. It's all about giving. But I almost guarantee that if I ask you the question, what do you receive from that? You would tell me that the things that you receive are greater than what you give.
Absolutely. And listen, that whole Cash Mob thing was born because of what I just talked to you about. Because I remember, I always loved to give, but I remember a time in my life where I didn't have the money to give. Right? I mean, I've been broke before, like broke, and I understand that part, but I always still have the desire to give. And even if, if I had $1 and you needed it, I would give it to you. I mean, that's just who I am. But what I came to understand is people have a desire to give, but sometimes don't have a lot of money to give. And I birthed that idea of the Cash Mob, where we just get a group of people together. Everybody has $20. So nobody spends more than $20. Right? You have $4 or $5 bills. And, sometimes we have 50 people and we go find one person and we each give that one person $5. So we go out thinking that we're going to bless somebody, but the blessing really is to us.
Yeah.
Right? That feeling that we give. And I hear it from the people that come and do it with us. You can see it. We've literally had people participate with us that they're crying, like there are tears in their eyes as they're giving away their money, right? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee our listeners today, the more you give, the more you're going to receive in whatever, in life, in business. And it's not always the reception that you're getting of financial income. Sometimes it's in other things other than monetary. So I think that's fantastic. And I'm glad we got to that subject because I think that's kind of what you're doing also with these books. You're giving a lot with these books. I love the fact that they're small. I can read them very, very quickly. I'm like you possibly. I have bookshelves full of books. that I have gotten from different sources. Some even have things that I've done in them. I mean, and the authors have said, "Hey, can we publish this in our book?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then I hate to say that I haven't read the rest of the book because it's too big, and I just haven't got around to it. But the small books are definitely a blessing. I think that they are going to bless a lot of people. So I thank you for that, and thank you for explaining those. You got into a little bit about your average work day. Tell me kind of what you go through daily.
Well, my average workday today is definitely much different than it used to be, especially like really today with everything going on. We've gone everything to digital and the internet and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, really, my job with Legal Shield is to simply give people information. One thing I love about Legal Shield is it fills a huge need, and when you can find a need and fill it, that's where opportunity comes, right? So with us, I mean, just to give you some numbers, the American Bar Association reports that 52% of the country has an ongoing legal situation right now, whether it's a landlord-tenant dispute, a speeding ticket they got, a divorce, custody issue, something. I mean, half the country has an ongoing legal situation right now. 7 out of 10 adult Americans in our country don't have an up-to-date will. I mean, even with everything going on with this virus out there and people literally dying right now, still, we all know we need a will, but 7 out of 10 adult Americans don't have one because it's expensive. So, what we provide for the little $25 a month, it gives people access to attorneys for anything they need them for, basically. You can get your will done at no additional charge. So I don't really have to go and sell this. I just have to get people to review the information. And that's my whole day when I wake up in the morning my question is who can I find today that would be willing to review the information? Now, how do we have them review it? I may send them a video. I may do a Zoom meeting with them like this. We do a scheduled Zoom meeting overview every day at 3 p.m. A couple other days a week, Wednesdays and Sundays, we have scheduled Zoom meetings. But I just spend all day inviting people to look. And once people look, more often than not, because the numbers are so in our favor, they go, that really makes a lot of sense. I'd like to try that service. Maybe they want to make some extra money from home. That's been a lot right now. I mean, so many people out of work, they're looking for a way to make money and from home because people are still, home, stay-at-home orders in a lot of places. So, I really just spend my whole day asking people to just review some information. That's it.
Okay. Well, you're busy. I know you keep yourself busy. Tell me, let's talk about this real quick. I've asked this question to a few people in this series, and if you lost everything, if you just lost everything that you currently have today, what would you do in the next 30 days to start back? Is there a certain a place that you would look? Would you go back to Legal Shield, or what would you do?
Well, I was just talking with my daughter about this last night, as a matter of fact. It's funny that you say that. And I assume when you say you lost everything, you mean my material things, not my family. Because
Correct.
That would be a different answer.
Yeah.
But, just my material stuff. If Legal Shield went away today and I had to start over, the art of sales and marketing, if you will learn the art of sales and marketing, you will never be unemployed. Because there's not a company in the world that doesn't need somebody to sell or market their product, period. So to me, it's like the most safe industry that you can ever be in. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Recession proof. Because once you mastered the art of sales, then you can always go find a job. So if shut down tomorrow, I started my sales career 25 years ago in the car business. I know I could get a job in a day, within hours, selling cars. I could probably apply to a few places and find somebody else that, but I would start back, in the sales and marketing realm, and I would probably just take a job wherever I could doing whatever I could to keep my family afloat until I figured out what my next venture was going to be, and that would be, a temporary thing. That's the way I would go. I would just go back into sales and marketing for some company until I could identify what my next business venture was going to be.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think that can be a lesson to a lot of us out there. I just wrote down your quote that you gave me just a second ago. If you master the art of sales and marketing, you will never find yourself unemployed.
True
And
statement.
I think that's I think it's very true. I have been self-employed for the last 23 years, and I don't think I would ever do anything different. If I lost it all, my answer would be I would just start something else. I would just go back in and do kind of the same thing that I've been doing, and just run from there. So, Bill, this has been fantastic today. I've probably taken up a little bit too much of your time, but I appreciate everything that you've given us today. I want to ask you one final question, and I know that you don't have to answer with this because I'll go ahead and answer it for you. I'm going to put the links to your books down under this video so people can get them. But give me another tip, something or two that you would give to any aspiring entrepreneurs.
It's real
What should
simple.
they do?
I got the number one answer for you, and
Okay.
I got to go because I got another Zoom meeting at 3.
Okay.
But it's real. One answer: build a residual income.
Okay.
The only way to truly free yourself is build a residual income. Have money coming in that you are no longer working for.
Yep. While you sleep.
While
And
you
all the time, 24 hours a day. Bill, I know you got to run. Thank you so much for being here today. Guys, as you're watching this, I'm going to put all those links down below this video, and I hope you will use them. I'll put Bill's contact information there as well. He is a wealth of information, and we once again really appreciate you being here. So I know you got to run. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you,
And we'll
Matt.
talk to you soon. Have a
Have
good
a good
day.
day.
Okay.